Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show.
You're not Mallory.
I am not Mallory. That's a fact. I know the viewers are probably very disappointed in that, because I'm sure Mallory did a wonderful job.
What is this snip snap thing? You know I crave consistency.
Yeah, that's actually why you got into the sports industry.
Yes.
It's because it's a normal 9 to 5, always consistent, no surprises, no changes, no nothing.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm hearing no lies at this point.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Where's Mallory?
Yeah, I don't know. She had enough of you, I guess. She said never again. She almost flipped the entire computer table over, but I convinced her not to. So, old girl fights to survive another day. Maybe. She could turn off at any point in time. I'm talking about the computer, not Mallory.
I was going to say, I thought you two were friends. That seems like a really disrespectful way to speak about your friend.
Yeah, I was talking about the computer.
Referring to her as old girl.
No, Mallory's younger than me. There's no way I can refer to her as old girl.
Dateline. Apparently the sick ward.
These allergies are kicking my behind.
Okay.
You love to see it.
We are about 8 feet apart, which is good.
I'll be fine.
For the purposes of my health.
Yeah, no, it's, pollen.
Dateline.
Ragweed.
Beyond China. Running a marathon is quite a grueling athletic feat, specifically on the lungs and the respiratory system. Now imagine deliberately making that feat even more grueling. I'm not going to get to by blank. What do you think this story is about?
Read it one more time.
Running a marathon is quite a grueling athletic feat, specifically on the lungs and respiratory system. Now imagine deliberately making that feat even more grueling by adding in blank.
Man, I don't know. Weather? Bad weather?
On November 6th, a runner that goes by the nickname Uncle Chen ran the Zhanjiang Marathon in 3 hours and 28 minutes while chain-smoking cigarettes, according to Canadian Running.
I was way off.
After the race, photos of Uncle Chen's chain-smoking surfaced on the Chinese social media app Weibo. They have since gone viral. When people began questioning the legitimacy of the accomplishment, marathon organizers shared his finishing certificate from the marathon. He miraculously finished 574th out of nearly 1,500 competitors, all while smoking.
So basically in the top, third of it, almost?
Yes.
Pretty close?
Oh, yeah. Here, let's see if we can find some photos. Here we go.
Was it cigarettes, or are we
talking no.
stogies, or?
You know what? Let's see if I can do this. Hold on. Casting. Watch this. Oh, no. Homeboy's just huffing heaters. There's one.
Holy cow.
Homeboy is just monkey butting them.
Also, how do you... I feel like that's danger. Okay, there's a lot of stuff is not healthy about this.
Look at this. This is the peak of athleticism right here, folks.
But the fact that he could, when you run, you usually breathe heavy out of your mouth. The fact that he was able to hold the cigarette in his mouth without
for sure.
dropping it.
Well,
or
and now here's the thing. I do think
him.
These are the most impressive photos of him just running with it just hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah,
you're right.
He's exhaling there.
You're right, because he's just But I gotta be honest. I have been around people who smoke who are expert smokers.
Yeah.
And they can just go. You know what I mean? And they are. But do
you're
it while
sitting
running. To do it while running, yeah. Yeah, I've been in Stan's Blue Note enough to know that's possible. But
you would think too, how
shout out Stan's.
People flick the cigarettes to get the ashes and stuff. I'm surprised he didn't end up with any sort of burns anywhere.
It is a remarkable
I think it would
story.
Just fall off.
And so I would like to once again declare Uncle Chen. I don't know his name. Uncle
Doesn't
Chen.
matter. That's all you need to know.
as the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Today Memorial Hero of the Week.
Congratulations, Uncle
Congratulations, Uncle Chen. Hit the theme, Expo. Pickle! Hit the arrow sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Louisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places, or listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local, mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there at the helm today, back from her vacation to, I want to say, Japan? She's the Duchess of the Dorks. She's Ashley Pickle.
Hi, friends. Glad to be back.
Was I right? Was it Japan?
It was Japan.
I nailed it.
I wouldn't necessarily consider it a vacation, but yes, I did go to Japan.
Today is Friday, November 18th, 2022, 6 days until Thanksgiving. You can wish happy birthday to someone who's turning 20 or someone who's turning 44.
Happy birthday to Mallory and I's best friend, Randy.
Oh, happy birthday, Randy.
Sorry.
How old
Randy's
is she?
turning 25.
Happy
so.
birthday. Okay, so now you can wish an additional happy
Okay,
birthday to someone who's turning 20 or 45.
45.
Happy birthday to Fabulous.
Oh, nice.
Fabulous is, we live in a world where Fabulous is 45.
That's wild.
Yeah, he is,
He used to be on a lot of the, the old, like the Now CDs, now
oh yeah.
15 to now 46 or whatever.
Yep.
That was big territory for him.
Yes.
Who is turning 20?
TikTok star Wednesday Rowe.
Okay, I would not have known who that was. The only
you know
Wednesday I know is from the Addams Family.
Do you know anybody named after a day of the week?
No.
I have a friend named Thursday. That's not a joke. Her name's
really?
her name's Thursday. Oh, well, friend, like somebody I went to college with. Her name was
Okay.
Thursday
question
Bram.
though, was she born on a Thursday?
It's been at least 15 years since I saw her, and I know I know she has told me the answer to this because I asked her. I was like, "How did you get the name Thursday?" And but I cannot answer that with any sort of. It's left my brain. I just remember that her name was Thursday.
Nice.
Yeah. On today's show, episode 1501. By the way, you missed 1500.
I know. I realized that this morning when I went to type this in, and I was like, "Oh man."
Mm-hmm. On today's show, folks, we're going to announce the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week, the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week, and then it's Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday. We're answering your questions about high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, anything you got. Get them in the comments, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We can go until about 12:45 answering your questions. We'll also have a little bit of Thursday recap, talk a little bit about that SMU Tulane game.
Whew. Did it end as bad as it started?
It was yucky.
Yeah.
It was a yucky game.
They were down real bad when I was in the office with Ish and Mallory last night monitoring games, and Mallory goes, "Oh my God," and I was like, "Oh Lord."
59-24 was your final.
Ugh. God.
Do we first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Rob Hadaway, Christo Fire 100, Paul Roberts, and Tom B. Welcome in, fellas.
But especially welcome into Tom B.
Yes.
The B stands for, boy, aren't you glad you came and watched the show today. All right, Pickle. Dave Campbell's Texas Football, in conjunction with the Tax Act Texas Bowl, is proud to present the Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week Award presented by Kroger to the most deserving high schooler in the state of Texas. Each week, the Dave Campbell's Texas Football staff nominates 10 deserving candidates for that week's award based on the previous week's on-field performance. We then leave it up to you to vote at TexasFootball.com. I apologize for that. I apologize. With the winner being announced shortly thereafter. Your Week 12 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week presented by Kroger is...
Drumroll. Boom.
Caddo Mills quarterback Alfonso Gonzalez, who had an outstanding game that I can't wait to tell you about as soon as I find which of the many documents I have open Here, you're watching this. This is going great. Alfonso Gonzalez threw for 125 yards and a touchdown passing, but also ran for 160 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Congratulations to all the nominees: Comanche quarterback Leighton Welch, Corpus Christi Miller wide receiver and defensive back Lonnie Atkinson, Flatonia quarterback Fidel Venegas, Byron Nelson quarterback Jake Wilson, El Paso Eastwood quarterback Evan Minares, Waco University wide receiver and safety Najee Drakes, Los Fresnos cornerback Joshua Munoz, Sunray quarterback Armando Luan, and center running back Caden Dixon. But a very special congratulations to the Week 12 Mr. Texas Football Player of the Week, presented by Kroger, Alfonso Gonzalez, the quarterback at Caddo Mills.
The fact that the Fox's uniforms have Unleash written on them is exceptional.
I've said before, and I'll say again, the Fox is the most underutilized mascot, I would say, in all of sports.
Yeah.
Because we have in Texas, we have Caddo Mills, we have El Paso Jefferson. That is, I am fairly sure, it.
Yeah, we have the Swifts.
With the Swifts in Nazareth, which is a
type of
Fox.
If
you can even lump them in, and even 3 out of 1,500.
Well,
we can do better, guys.
What is a fox? It's not a. I mean, it's not a feline. Is it a canine? Like, is it part of the canine family? I've never thought about that. What is a fox? Like, what is their? I don't remember what they're called. Anyway. They've got to be canine descent, right? Do you know the answer to that question?
I was going to let you work it out.
Do you actually know?
What do you think?
I think they're from the canine descent.
Dairy Max and Dave Campbell's Texas Football are proud to team up this year to honor excellence in coaching and the hard work the assistant coaches put in on behalf of their teams. Each week, the Dave Campbell's Texas Football staff nominates 4 deserving candidates for the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week. Let fans decide on the winner via Twitter poll. It all leads up to the Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Year, decided at season's end. Your Week 12 Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week is...
Drum roll. Boom.
Canutillo defensive coordinator Fiacro Ramirez. The Eagles forced a pair of second-half turnovers en route to their 5th shutout with a 28-0 win over Amarillo Palo Duro. Congratulations to all the nominees: San Antonio Taft defensive coordinator Michael Mull, North Crowley offensive coordinator Eli Reinhardt, and Weslaco defensive coordinator Eddie Ramirez. But a very special congratulations to the Week 12 Dairy Max Built by Chocolate Milk Assistant Coach of the Week, Fiacro Ramirez, defensive coordinator from Canutillo. Very well deserved. Now, a word from our friends at VCR Now.
In just a minute.
And now a word from our...
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
To close the loop, a fox is a dog.
I know. I looked it up to confirm.
And now it's time for Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday.
The North Texas Honda dealers want to help you score on award-winning Hondas like the rugged and reliable 2023 Ridgeline. Stop by your Helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
When I think Honda, I think rugged and reliable. And when I think rugged and reliable, I think 2 things. I think the Ridgeline, I think Matt Stapp.
No, he lost that. I don't know if you saw it last night. Step was the first. Matt, that was weird. Step was the first one to get one of his regional picks wrong.
Oh, yeah?
And I said, and you call yourself rugged and reliable. I thought that was funny. I laughed at my own Slack message.
Who's the second person to have one of their regional picks out?
Me.
which is a nice transition into Thursday night action. Get your questions in high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll get to as many as we can here up until about 12:45. So, last night, Pickle did, in fact, lose her first regional pick. Who was it?
Gregory Portland.
Gregory Portland. And even worse for you, they went out at the hands of Matt Stepp's regional pick in 5A Division II, Region 4.
Yeah.
You took Gregory Portland to win Region 4. Stepp took Alamo Heights. I believe the rest of us took Liberty Hill to win Region 4. But Alamo Heights gets to win 31-8. The Mules are rolling right now. Very impressive. Okay.
That was I will say, that was probably my largest hipster pick when it came to regional finals. So I wasn't necessarily dumbfounded.
No.
I was sad for Gregory Portland, though.
Okay. Let's talk about its Valley Week. Okay? And so there's obviously two huge games tonight with Edinburgh Vela playing PSJ North. I'm sorry, Edinburgh Vela playing Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial, and PSJ North playing Corpus Christi Miller. Those are the two. Those are, in my opinion, the four best teams in Region 4, 5A Division 1. Okay, we've been talking about it all year. This is the best chance for a Rio Grande Valley team to break through. Let me tell you why I am even more encouraged. By the possibility of these teams breaking through. Now, they've got tough games tonight, but why I'm even more encouraged. So, the computer, the unfeeling robot, right, it issues game projections for every game, and basically they base it on a team rating they have for each team, this, that, and the other. It's based on what you've done and what the teams that you've played have done and things like that. That, like, if Tepper High beats Pickle High, and then Pickle High goes out and they end up being 0-10, like, my rating will suffer because that is not as much of a win, right? One of the issues that we run into with the computer is when you have parts of the state, specifically like the Valley, specifically like El Paso, specifically like maybe the Panhandle to a certain extent, that are very not insular, but like they don't play outside of their region very much.
Right, yeah, because in a geographical sense, it's just too much
it's
travel
hard, yeah.
to not all play each other.
And so, as a result, those can be hard to gauge. It can be hard to figure them out. But last night, we got our first real, tangible, good-on-good, like, Valley versus outside the Valley team, data points. And I think if you're a Valley fan, I think they're pretty encouraging. One of them is San Benito getting the win last night, 38-19 over San Antonio Taft. The reason that matters is that the computer had San Benito as a 7-point favorite. They thought that they were going to win that game, and the computer had it right. Okay? And when you add in what Brownsville Veterans Memorial did you see this? What Brownsville Vets did, the ground strike offense in full bloom last night. The computer had them, I believe, as 17-point favorites, and they won 74-59. So they did not. There's no such thing as covering, but like they won by 15. They were favored by 17. All that is to say is that I think there is reason to believe, and we'll find out. This could all blow up in our faces tonight.
Right.
We're talking about how high school football players perform. But I think that if you are a Rio Grande Valley fan and you are hoping to see a team get to a state semifinal, the computer has Vela and Edinburgh PSJ North both favored tonight. This would indicate that maybe the computer has a read on them. If they had gone out, if these two teams had, like, at the moment they step out of the Valley, they got washed,
right,
that would have been pretty problematic.
Right, especially because those teams have played the teams that we're talking about tonight.
They've got
so
second and third order,
yep,
performances and measuring sticks against teams like that. So very interesting to keep an eye on that. Can we talk about a team that at the moment is going to play on Thanksgiving? They're going to survive Thanksgiving with the sparkling record of 5-7.
Port Lavaca Calhoun's holy sand crabs.
So Calhoun started the year 0-7.
Yeah, literally straight L's, 7.
0-7, and now they have rattled off 5 straight. They have basically been technically not, they could have dropped like one of their games. But in a lot of ways, they've been in like win or go home mode for like the past 5 weeks, and they've won every one of them.
And they're not pushover teams.
No,
either.
they beat Beeville Jones on the road.
Yeah, they beat Alice.
They beat Alice. Last night, they beat Canyon Lake 28-13. The Sandcrabs, that is a remarkable turnaround for Richard Whitaker's bunch. We knew they were young, but like it is like they're getting talk about getting hot like literally at the exact right time. If they had gotten hot 1 week late, they'd be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know what they always say: don't let the Sandcrabs get hot. That's what they all say.
Who's they all?
Everyone. Get with the program.
DeSoto romps past Rockwall Heath, sending
Yeah,
the upside down H. DeSoto was rolling last night. San Antonio Brennan all over Los Fresnos. That is not a surprise. Brennan was a team that is, again, you want to talk about what the computer had. The computer had Brennan by 41, and Los Fresnos lost by 35. San Benito, we mentioned them. 4A, Geronimo Navarro beats Bishop. Wichita Falls Hershey beats Canyon and West Plains. A quick shout-out to the West Plains Wolves. A great first season in the UIL, and Adam Cummings and company. Glen Rose over Stockton. The game of the night, Godley and Seminole was crazy, 41-40. As this game went wild back and forth. The Wildcats of Godley are through to the third round for the first time since 2013, just the third time in program history. And yeah, this was a great win for Godley, who's through to third round. Seminole, I thought was a sleeper out there, and Godley took care of them. Great win for them. So Franklin beats Anahuac 32-7. I watched about the first half of this game on NFHS Network.
Mm-hmm. They farted around.
Okay, all right, hold on. I'm pushing back on that. Because I watched this game.
Uh-huh.
So Anahuac got the opening kick.
Mm-hmm.
And they held the ball for 6.5 minutes before turning the ball over on downs. Franklin got the ball, went down and scored. Go up 6-0. Missed the extra point. Anahuac got the ball, went on another long drive, scored a touchdown. Okay? Franklin got the ball with for the second time, with about 5 minutes left in the half. They had, and then, by the way, they had to punt. They didn't see the ball again. They had 2 possessions in the first half. And Anahuac went in up at halftime 7-6.
Yeah, I maybe it's just me. I expect the Franklin defense to be better than what they played last night, because we had that game on here too. And I just think, I mean,
maybe, like, obviously they figured it out.
They're efficient on offense. There's no doubt.
Maybe they figure it out, but, like, you know, you got to get the field on third downs, right?
Yeah.
Obviously they didn't do that in the first half.
Yeah.
That also felt like that is the kind of tightrope you can walk for so long. That went in at halftime 7-6, but after watching that, I was like, this feels like it's got, I don't know, hypothetically 32-7 written all over it. And it did. Franklin hit the Jets. Great gameplay from Anahuac, just didn't hold up for 4 quarters. Brock beats Muleshoe. Edna beats Universal City Randolph 16-7 in another street fight. This game was 7-0 at halftime. I will say it, and we're obviously going to talk about Edna going forward there in the regional semifinals. They'll get to Thanksgiving. Randolph was a really good team. That was a really good team. I think they finished the year 9-3. Is that right?
I believe so.
I think they win 9-2. Yeah, they finished the year 9-3. That is a dang good 9-3 team. That was a really good Rohawks team. Pottsboro roars past Whitney in a wild one, 62-49 in a wild shootout.
That's my Region 3 pick. Region 2 pick.
Hey, on to the next one. You know, it counts. Bells beats Comanche in a really emphatic victory. This is a game we had our eye on. Great win for Bells. That offense is really rolling. They get Holiday next week because Holiday was farting around a little bit with Scurry Rosser before they hit the Jets. They win. West Rusk beats Wascom in a thriller. That's another really good Wascom team, but West Rusk survives it. Great win for the Raiders. They are through. Gunner had no problem with Jacksboro. I watched about 5 minutes of that game, but they were kind of doing whatever they wanted. Palmer all over Callisburg. I believe I would need to look at the bracket, which who could possibly expect me to click on the link? So I believe what now happens there in Region 2 is you're going to get Bells versus Holiday and Palmer versus Gunner. So we're to the Fireworks Factory now in Region 2 of 3A Division 2.
Palmer's what, 8? We had them ranked, right?
Yeah, they were ranked. They're 12-0 now.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be a matchup of unbeatens next week between Gunner and Palmer. Elsewhere, across the state, 2A Division 1. Flatonia beat Three Rivers. Good win for them.
That was a really good season for Three Rivers.
Oh, yeah,
I
totally
thought
agree.
that
They were the third best team in that district.
Yeah.
And
that
that's,
says a lot because the two best teams in that district are the Kings.
speaking of which, Refugio beat Holland 56-10. Didn't have any problem with them.
Yeah, no, they're
New Deal all over Forsan. Ganado beats Thorndale. Toller 71, Marlin 18.
Yeah.
Now, you want to talk about regional picks? I think Toller is really good. They have Peyton Brown. He's like a 2,500-yard rusher. They are really good. Their defense is good. This was obviously not the year Marlin anticipated, not the year we anticipated for Marlin, but whoa, Nelly.
So to score 71 points in an area round game,
I don't
is good
care
enough.
who you're
Yeah.
playing. If you are beating anyone by 50 plus in a an area round game, you got something cooking.
Yeah, he was in our Slack chat last night going, put some respect on Toller.
Do you know what the hashtag for them is?
No.
Snake Farm.
Oh, that's pretty good.
You can hop on the bandwagon if you want.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. Albany and Munster were kind of locked in a close game until they weren't. It was like 10-7 Munster, and then Albany won 56-10.
Yeah. You want to talk about literally just breaking. Like,
Yeah.
that was one of those, I looked down and I see the score. I was like, okay. And then I looked down and I see the score and I was like, okay.
Wink beat Santo by exactly what the computer said they would, 16 points, 35-19.
Wow.
Windthorst over Sterling City, 43-29. And then six-man action last night. Texas football today's own Don Kofel is, and the Erie County Hornets are through to the regional final. Because remember, there's one fewer round. Regional final. Their second win in playoff win since 1971. They 45 Lakey at halftime, 52-0. So congratulations to them. That is all the news that's fit to print from last night. Plus Tulane drilled SMU. Do we have any questions from the people in Helpful Honda Mailbag Friday?
We sure do. Thoughts? There's a big one Saturday on Dave Campbell's Texas Live, actually. Sock and Lovejoy.
Nah, I'm not all that interested in it.
Whatever.
It's the spotlight game in my picks video, so you can go watch it there. So if you want more of what I'm about to say, then that's there. I've called it the Anxiety Bowl. I think both of these teams are pretty worried going into this game for different reasons. For Sock, it's pretty obvious that their offense is just like in the mud. Mm-hmm. And for Lovejoy, like they have a problem that whenever they get socked in the mouth, like
They lie down.
they
Like, as bad as that sounds, plain and simple, they get hit and they go
they
down.
they can be outmuscled.
Yes.
They can be outmuscled. And here comes South Oak Cliff, who like it's all they do.
Yeah.
So this is the anxiety. This is a big anxiety bowl. There. Obviously, the spotlight matchup here is the receiver core for Lovejoy up against the defensive backs for South Oak Cliff. That's spotlight stuff.
I think we'll be able to tell a lot by Lovejoy's defensive line because that Sock offensive line is just massive.
They're huge.
I mean,
And
just
here's the
massive.
thing.
And I
Okay.
like the Lovejoy defensive line after seeing them in person. They're kind of worker bees. They're not the biggest people, but they will get back in the backfield if they just can't break through that brick wall.
Well,
there's nothing that they'll be able to do.
That's a great point because last year, you remember when they played in the regional final, coming off, remember, like transport back a year, South Oak Cliff just gets done beating Aledo, and then we were like, oh, okay, well, hey, like you can't like rest on your laurels because Lovejoy's really good, and they just pounced on them.
Yeah, they're just so much bigger.
And the reason was what they dominated up front. Yeah, they had playmakers and stuff, but they dominated up front. How much have they closed the gap? First down is so important for South Oak Cliff. Okay, if they are not getting 3-4 yards on first down, they're in big trouble because any passing down is a problem for them.
Oh yeah, because I watched that Lovejoy defense just kind of get blitzed by a North Crowley team that was still figuring stuff out at a time. But I mean, it was they could not get them lower than like they were getting 5 yards every single thing, either running it or little bubble screens out on the side, and so that defensive line is going to have a test in front of them.
It's going to be up to them. So we will find out exactly how things work out. It's a fascinating game. I'm taking South Oak Cliff. I've kind of said I'm going to ride or die with South Oak Cliff, but there's ample reason to be worried for both teams in this game. What's next, Pickle?
Paul Roberts says,
whose football opinions we can trust.
There's going to be a single-digit chill factor tonight in Lubbock. How is that going to affect the Cisco-Stratford game?
I would say that. So my immediate thought, and this is, I have never. This is shocking. I've never been a quarterback.
What?
And I've also never intentionally gone out and played in cold weather.
In single-digit temperature.
Because I value my life. That said, I am of the opinion that cold weather affects passing games.
Mm-hmm.
And that would, in my opinion, be good news for Cisco, who does not throw the ball that much.
No.
They're going to grind it out. Now, Stratford can run the ball. Plenty with Zane Burr. They can run the ball. But I would say that if you were leaning, like if you thought it was a toss-up game, which I think that's fair, I would now give advantage to Cisco.
Because Hunter Long is a fantastic quarterback, but he's going to run the ball.
But he's a running quarterback. He's a running quarterback.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. So that's how,
And
it may make Stratford a little one-dimensional.
I was going to say, they also like to play up-tempo, and when you're trying to get, when you're trying to get out of the cold, you're going to be playing faster, which I think leans towards Cisco a little bit more, too.
I took Cisco. I know Step took Stratford, so we're on other opposite ends of this. I think it's a one-score game. I'm going to roll with Cisco, but I think that if you are asking me who gets the advantage with super cold weather tonight in Lubbock, my answer would be that would be a slight advantage for Cisco. What's next, Pickle?
Who is your dark horse to win 4A Division I Region 3?
I feel like they want me to say one team. 4A Division I Region 3. Let me pull it up because I don't have them all committed to memory. I guess my dark horse would be the team that I picked to win the region, right? Which is Lumberton. Tough game tonight against Stafford, but I like this Lumberton team a lot. If you're looking for another sleeper, perhaps I would say the winner
Kilgore?
of what's that? Kilgore, yeah. Kilgore was a they're. I guess I don't see a ton of. Here's the thing.
It's hard to consider them
I just
dark
don't see a ton of
horses.
sleepers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
We know
Chapel
about all of them.
Hill's a favorite. I picked Lumberton to win the region. El Campo and Kilgore both have plenty of star power and name recognition. I would say if you're looking for sleepers, you're limited to Bay City, Stafford, Brazosport, and Lindale. Maybe Lindale, right? Lindale came through a very difficult district there in District 9. And I think they'd like a rematch against both Kilgore and Chapel Hill, so maybe it's Lindale. I just don't think there's a ton of sleepers there now that we
There's too many name brands.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. Like the sleeper at the beginning of it was Houston, Washington. Was Booker T because they were 10-0 out of Houston ISD and nobody was really talking about them. They lose in the first round to Brazosport. Maybe it's Brazosport. I don't know. What's next, Pickle?
Thoughts on Cameron Yo and Orangefield?
No thoughts. I don't think they should play. I'm appalled. I'm kidding. It's a really interesting matchup, specifically because for Orangefield, this is a team that their bread and butter in many ways is their defense. Coach Josh Smalley's done a great job with that defense, and I think they're playing really well right now. But this is a Cameron Yo offense that's really hitting on all cylinders. I don't know. I would imagine that if you're Orangefield, you've watched that Franklin Cameron Yo tape a lot because they dominated them 63-7, and you've tried to figure out that's the first time that really anybody's really held down that offense. I don't know. I lean towards Yo. I think they've got the superior offense, and I think they can make just enough stops. I still have my questions about their defense, but I think I lean towards Yo in this one in a tight one. It's kind of where I'm at on it. What's next? I do like Orangefield. I think Coach Smalley's done a great job.
We've got a cross-region matchup, Manville and Smithson Valley. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's strange because like Smithson Valley is a San Antonio team. Hi. I'm here to help. They're a San Antonio team playing a Houston team, and typically when that's happened, Houston teams have had the advantage.
I don't think that they do.
This is a litmus test.
Yeah.
Now, part of it is that Smithson Valley, because they're like we've seen them play outside of the city. We've seen them play outside of San Antonio because of and they have because they played New Braunfels, right, which is kind of a little bit. They played Hayes, right. Last week they played Cedar Park and just like swatted them away, right. This is a Manville team that I do think has gotten better as the year went on.
They're very young.
Extremely young.
Very young.
This is a veteran Smithson Valley team.
And I was going to say, that's where I think I think Smithson Valley is a little bit bigger, which is surprising.
Yes, they're bigger in the
I
trenches.
don't think that we say that often, like a San Antonio compared to Houston, but I do think they're a little bit bigger, and I think that they have more big game experience.
I like Smithson Valley. I think they can win the region. I lean towards Smithson Valley. Manville does have the playmakers. Manville does have the playmakers. I think in a game like this, I lean towards the more veteran team, and I lean towards a team with the defense that I trust more, and both those teams are Smithson Valley. So I like the Rangers tonight. What's next?
How about we'll stay in the San Antonio area, Warren and Harlingen tonight. It's kind of a sneaky good matchup.
So and again, it's another test in so-called Valley Week, right? Harlingen's 11-0. Warren is a good but beatable San Antonio team, right? They're good but beatable. Their losses are all pretty respectable. Taft, Harlan, and then Brennan. And Brennan by 3 points, right? They've hung in a lot of games. So this is another kind of data point in the RGV kind of measuring stick. Harlingen has been really sound defensively, and that I think is going to give them a great shot in this game against a Warren team who is pretty high-powered, but whose defense does leave a little something to be desired. If this is a lower-scoring game, I like Harlingen. If they want to get into a shootout, I'm not sure. I think that the speed advantage is going to favor Warren. This game's in San Antonio. That certainly helps for Warren's cause. I'm going to roll with Harlingen. I think they're the better team. But
if they play the way that they've been playing the past couple of weeks, they've just looked dominant.
They've been mowing past people. I mean, they have not played a game within 10 points since they started district play. They've only played 2 games decided by 2 scores, by 2 scores or fewer. They beat Laredo United South 21-7, and they beat Weslaco 31-21.
Yeah,
everything else has
what
been
they did against San Benito.
Yeah, everything else has been more. I mean, they beat San Benito, who's now through to the area round or the regional semifinals. They beat them by 16. So we'll see. I think that again, if you're trying to triangulate like results, I think that there's reason to be encouraged about the Rio Grande Valley. But this is another really important data point. I don't expect a Rio Grande Valley sweep tonight or anything like that. But I think that maybe there's reason to believe that just the whole state of play in Rio Grande Valley is stronger than it normally is. What's next?
Another one, live on Texan Live, Anna and Stephenville.
Do you have a word to describe this game?
Chaos.
Well,
Hold on to your butts.
More thinking of one that starts with a P.
P?
Pointsy.
Oh, yeah.
This game's going to be pointsy.
It's literally, I genuinely think it's going to come down to which defense can get 2 stops.
It really is going to come.
I really think
it does.
2 stops is it.
These are 2. Now, and this is not to say, I don't think Anna's defense is that bad. That seems like a really crappy thing to say.
But I think that
I think their defense is not bad, right?
But the Stephenville
offense is crazy good.
Yes.
It's crazy good. It looks like Ryder Lambert's back in his bag. They've got Tate Maruska. They've got a big offensive line. They are rolling right now.
And
they have looked great.
Has Anna played anybody that has this powerful of an offense? I mean,
Aubrey maybe is the closest thing.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
Sulphur Springs was was rolling, but they had lost their quarterback, and so this is the biggest offense that they're going to play. I mean, Salina is the best team they've played, but Salina is more defense, in my opinion, than offense. This is the most high-powered offense. Now, that said, I think Anna's going to be able to score.
Oh, yeah.
This is still, for all we've talked, and I feel bad. I feel like I spent the whole year just crapping on Stephenville. But, guys, their defense has given up 37 points a game.
Yeah.
They're scoring 50, which is great. That's a super good trick. They should keep doing that. But, the defense is, this is all up to the defense now. Because they're going to roll out. They're going to score 40. They're going to roll out of bed and score 41 points. Okay? The fewest points they've scored this year is 36, and that was that win over China, that loss to China Spring. 36. Every other game, they've scored at least 42 points. They're going to roll out of bed and score 42. The issue is, can they keep the other team under 42?
Yep.
That's the magic number. If Anna gets to 49, like, but at the same time, if Anna gets to 49, like, Stephenville can absolutely score 49.
Well, here's the
I
one
think
other
I'll
thing.
just say this. I think, like, Step on Tep and Step, I'm sorry to interrupt, but, like, on Tep and Step, he said, I've set the over-under at 90, and he's like, I feel really good about the over.
Yeah. The one other thing is the Stephenville defense, I think that consistently has not shown up, but when they have, it's because they're forcing an absurd amount of turnovers. Like that Brownwood game. They forced like 3 or 4 different turnovers. So if the defensive backs can pick off Bullock once, maybe twice, that might be the difference in the game right there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They can force turnovers.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, I think that they can't force turnovers. That's what it's going to be. They are. Do you know who Stephenville is? I just figured it out. They're USC. Okay? USC is flamethrower offense. Caleb Williams, if you haven't watched them, their offense is incredible, okay? Their defense is not very good except when the turnover spigot is turned on.
Yes.
If they're getting 2-3 turnovers,
then
their defense is fine. But if they're not, they're moving the ball.
They're not going to stop you on a 4-yard run, but gosh darn it,
this has got to be This has got to be a splash play defense for Stephenville moving forward. I think they got to be +3 in the turnover margin tonight. If they're +3 in the turnover margin tonight, then they can win. But I like Anna in this one. And I know that's crazy considering this is the best year in Anna history, and for Stephenville, this is just Tuesday basically. But I do like Anna in this one. What's next?
Thoughts on Flower Bluff and Lockhart?
This guy's from Lockhart, isn't he? He has to be, because I feel like we get a Lockhart question every week, which is fine. Listen, respect. Yeah. Flower Bluff's been a weird team this year, because like they started off 1-3, but all 3 of those losses, Bernie, Cal Allen, and Alice, all different shades of pretty good losses, right?
They intentionally made that schedule so tough because they had such an unbelievable thing. I mean, they state semifinal last year?
Yeah, they ran to state semifinal last year. They had no problem with Roma last week. They are a team who their offense, when it's good, is really good, but when they've lost, it's because their offense has kind of been only okay. This is a Lockhart team that I think has been more consistent, arguably, at least week to week. We kind of have a better feel for what they are, which is a pretty darn good offense and an okay defense. Lockhart's already had a great year. I think Todd Mabus has done a great job with the Lions. A lot of this comes down to whether or not this Lockhart team can run the ball. Flower Bluff's going to put 6 in the box, 7 in the box, 8 in the box to try to slow down Ashton Dickens, who's their dual threat quarterback, who's been really, really good, and then Sean McKinney. They run the ball really well, really effectively. They average 315 yards on the ground per game. If they cannot run the ball, I am not sure Lockhart has a great plan B. And so if you're Flower Bluff, you're selling out to stop the run tonight. I think I like Flower Bluff in a close one, but a lot of this comes down to whether or not if they can run the ball, then Lockhart can absolutely win this game. But I think I like Flower Bluff tonight. What's next?
Klein Collins and Westfield.
Are they playing tonight? Mm-hmm. Are they? Is that on Texan Live?
I believe so.
Might be. Yeah, it's. I know that the Westfield coaching staff is. They are. It was on Texan Live. Live on TexanLive.com. I know that they are very leery of this game. I think they've got. I know in talking with folks on the staff there, they are very leery of Klein Collins because of how well coached this team is, and most especially, I think how well their defense is playing. Their defense, especially of late, has been really good. They got in one shootout with Tomball Memorial, which really kind of skews the average. But aside from that, they've been pretty darn consistent defensively. This is a Westfield offense that has been out of control lately. Okay, they're averaging 56 points a game this year, and the past. I'll just pick an arbitrary number. Okay, so since they lost to North Shore in week 3, 61, 50, 63, 64, 58, 48, 74, 62. They have been out of control offensively. How well does Klein Collins match up with them offensively, and how well can Collins kind of control the clock, maybe take the air out of the football a little bit? That's a big question in this one. I am leaning towards Westfield. I'm leaning towards Westfield. This is a big game for the junior quarterback Tucker Parks for Collins. This is a he's a junior. If he were to lead him to a win here, the hype train's going to start for Collins. I like Westfield in this one, and because I'm not sure who's going to be able to slow them down until they play. That's D1, right? Yeah, mm-hmm. until they play Duncanville. So fascinating game though. Is that right? D1? Yeah, he said to himself confidently. Yeah, D1. Let's do 2 more. 3 more. 7 more. 3 more.
We've talked a lot about crosstown matchups, which is pretty much what area is, but there's another San Antonio Austin one, Lake Travis and Steele.
Yeah.
This one's interesting.
We can talk about matchups. We can talk about the fact that Steele's been rolling. We can talk about the fact that this is a rematch and Steele has already beaten Lake Travis, right? We can talk about the Steele defense, which I think has been terrific. We can talk about how well I think they've developed their young players and how the future I think is really bright for Steele. We can talk all about, especially defensively. We can talk about that sophomore quarterback Chad Warner. We can talk all about those things. We can talk about how banged up Lake Travis is. We can talk about how they had to pull the rabbit out of their hat last week, but they came up with the big plays with Caden Leon. We can talk about how they're on a backup quarterback. We can talk about the availability of Bo Edmondson. All of those things we can. Cibolo Steele and the powerhouse San Antonio teams, Steele, Judson, Brennan, those types of teams, they have just been dominated by Westlake and Lake Travis. Mm-hmm. Historically. That win back in week two for Steele over Lake Travis, that improves them to 1-4 against Lake Travis. Okay? When you consider they have not beaten Westlake since 2013. Lost 3 straight to them. Over the past 4 years, when Austin Powers and San Antonio Powers have met, Austin Powers just roll over them. Mm. This happened last year with what I thought was an okay Lake Travis team when they played Brennan, right? Do I have that right, Brennan? Mm. I think so. And just pasted them. That is, to me, I think, let me tell you this. The computer has, this is a 3-point game, Lake Travis by 3. I think Steele's the better team, really and truly. But I also can't take Steele to beat Lake Travis until I see it, because I've just been burned too many times thinking, this is the year for San Antonio. This is the year for San Antonio. Maybe it is, but I'm too gun-shy on it. I like Lake Travis.
I think if you would have asked me before the bi-district round last week, I would have taken Steele
over Round Rock. You would have taken Steele over Round Rock.
Yeah, I would have taken Steele over either of those teams, Lake Travis or Round Rock. Easy. Hands down. After we saw the way that Lake Travis handled Round Rock, and I know that there was injury or whatever, but that looked like a Lake Travis team that not only was playing well, but had their confidence back, had the swagger back. That makes me nervous. Like, I feel like they know that they can do it now. They're rolling, and that's all that they need on their side to be able to go get this done. I think if you would ask me before last week, I would have taken Steele hands down, but that looked like a actual Lake Travis.
I think it's here's my official take on it. I think it's a coin flip game, and I got to go with history in a coin flip game. And history would favor Lake Travis. I'd love to be wrong, because I love what Coach David Sands is doing there. All right, let's do 2 more.
Thoughts on the Bernie-Pleasanton matchup?
Yes. So
all due respect to Willie.
So yeah, by the way, I don't know if we haven't really advertised it because Will is very shy. And I don't think has ever been on our air. Excuse me. But we do have a Pleasanton grad that works for us. Mm-hmm. Will Wilkerson, Willie the Wilk, is a former All-State I want to say All-American wide receiver.
All-state defensive back. You get it wrong every single time.
I want to say he was an All-American wide receiver. Did he play at Texas?
No, he got offered to walk on at Texas, but he didn't take it.
Anyway, so love. Watch me do this. Love what Pleasanton's done this year. Coach Liska's a buddy. He's a good dude, and they've done a great job. They have. Do you know they've played 4 overtime games?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they beat Beeville Jones in double overtime. They beat Port Lavac Calhoun in overtime. They lost to Rockport Fulton in overtime, and they lost to Jourdanton in 5 overtimes. They played 5 overtime games. This is also a rematch of Week 2. Mm-hmm. And in Week 2, it was 41-7. Bernie was undefeated. I think it's closer than that, but not close enough.
Bernie is a machine right now.
Bernie's rolling.
I think Bernie is a darn good team.
Bernie's rolling right now. Yeah, I like Bernie. I think it's closer than the first matchup, but I do think that Bernie wins the rematch. Do we have an ender?
What are the realistic expectations for UTRGV when they decide to kick off football?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to look, like,
field a team and get people in the Valley hyped about it.
That's exactly right. Like, do you know what the realistic expectations are? And I'm dead serious. Is to, like, sell out every game. Sell out every game. Yep. And to go and build hype and stuff like that. But it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years to really, in my opinion, get them off the ground and to get them, competing in any sort of contentious way.
Well, and that's the other thing. Like we talk a lot about, first year varsity programs for high school and what it's like to, play an outlaw schedule for 3 years and all that stuff. But fundamentally, the difference between starting a high school program and starting a college program is massive.
Yes.
High school, it really depends on, your kids you're going to be able to probably field a team because wherever you're at, those kids are being sent to your school. With college, you have to recruit. You have to get kids to want to come out there to play football. So that's why the expectations on starting a college program are a little bit more shy than starting a high school program, in my opinion.
Yeah. So they are going to be in the WAC, right? If you didn't know they're going to play FCS, they're going to play in the WAC. This is it's just going to take some time. Like, they've got to figure out exactly what their identity is. A lot is going to, they're starting the beginning stages of hiring coaches and stuff like that. Recruiting is going to be tough, but not tough, but you got to figure out exactly where your recruiting base is. You could build an all Valley team, but they would not you've got to expand and use the whole state. Mm-hmm. You've got to use the whole hog here. San Antonio, Austin, Houston, DFW, major metro areas. You've got to get your hooks in there. A lot of this is going to come down to how well the buzz is down there, and because what you're going to be selling for the first couple of years is not wins. I'm not trying to be a defeatist here, but they're not going to win a ton in the first couple of years because first year college football programs just don't. What you've got to do is you've got to sell the buzz, and you've got to sell the be part of something and look at how excited people are here. That's kind of like what UTSA did. Come play the Alamo Dome. We got a national champion head coach and Larry Coker, things like that. Yep. That's what they did.
And we have brand new facilities.
Yes.
That's huge. We have a fun place to live. We are 40 minutes from the beach.
Yes.
That kind of stuff. The people support you here. That's what you have to sell.
That is, to me, yeah. The onus is going to be on people coming out and filling that and making it a fun place to play, and people and getting recruits here and be like, yeah, you know what, I do want to be a part of this.
Especially because in the WAC, you look and you can see that you can say, hey, look, you can go play in this stadium in front of 200 people, or you can go play in front of our home crowd and there's 4,000, 5,000 people here. That helps.
Right. No, absolutely. And so that's going to be very, very important. So, yeah, I think the realistic expectations is that by year 5, you are a fully fledged, fully formed program, and you are rolling and you are contending in the WAC. I think that's a realistic expectation. But a lot of this is going to come down to the investments that they make, both financially and that the community makes. So, yeah. Do you have another one that you're just dying to get in, or?
No, that was
okay.
That was the ender.
Okay,
we had to end with the RGV.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at texasfootball.com. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please give me your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you Monday for Thanksgiving week on Texas Football Today. Yes?
Yes.
Bye.